Hello, it's Friday the 13th, and I'm Max Brantley here to talk a little bit about Arkansas news today. It's a long way until November, but we're hot into the political season already, thanks in part to the fact that the Delta Grassroots Caucus had a meeting in Little Rock this week and brought in all the big political candidates. And I have to say that we're starting to see some sharp differences emerge among the candidates, particularly, I think, in the race for governor between Republican Asa Hutchinson and Democrat Mike Ross. Two real clear issues emerged today. Mike Ross went all in for the private option. He said he sees it as almost a Christian duty to support a health care program for working poor people. Asa Hutchinson's not so sure. He says he's going to wait and talk to the legislature and hope they do the right things. He again casts this thing as a welfare program for people who don't work, and that's just not true. The Medicaid expansion was precisely for people who do work, who do have income, but couldn't afford health care. And now nearing 200,000 people in Arkansas are getting health care thanks to the Medicaid expansion. Asa Hutchinson needs this program. He's going to have to be for it eventually, or else the budget will collapse. If he should be elected governor, he's going to have to get right at some point. I think he's still counting on energizing his base by having this position. The other great issue that emerged in this race is the minimum wage. Asa Hutchinson says, well, yes, maybe the minimum wage needs to be raised, but he doesn't think it should be done by the ballot initiative that almost certainly will make the ballot and raise the state's minimum wage, now the nation's lowest, to $8.50 an hour over 2 years. Mike Ross is for it, unapologetically. I think this is a winning issue for Mike Ross. Another interesting issue is that Mike Ross is pushing hard on pre-K education, a program where you can guarantee pre-K education for every kid in Arkansas who wants it. All the studies show that by the time kids get to school, it's almost too late for a lot of them. They need early education. Again, Asa Hutchinson is casting this as a welfare program. It's not a generous outlook. I think it's a losing outlook if this truly is a populous state like it once was. We saw a lot of sharp differences at this same meeting between Tom Cotton and Mark Pryor. Tom Cotton was on the offensive throughout by this group that represents a rural part of the state. He's against the farm bill. He's against food stamps. He's against highway funding, at least the parts that don't come to Arkansas. He's just against all sorts of things that provide a lot of good things to Arkansas, including the Delta Regional Commission, which funnels economic development grants here. Tom Cotton says, well, he likes some of the projects, but he doesn't think we need the commission. Without the commission, we don't get the projects. Mark Pryor's for all these things. He brought in Bill Clinton as a supporter, whereas yesterday Tom Cotton said Mitt Romney supported him. I like Bill Clinton as a vote getter better than Mitt Romney in Arkansas, to tell you the truth. Other news today you'll find on the Arkansas blog. There's a little controversy developing over a state highway department plan to widen I-630 through the middle of downtown Little Rock. Neighborhood groups are afraid a widening could imperil those neighborhoods. We've got a progress report on the effort to legalize marijuana in Arkansas. They've got an uphill climb with 24 days to gather 78,000 signatures, but they've got a plan and they talk about it with us today. And finally, a Republican legislative candidate from North Arkansas, David Ray Wallace, got fined $500 and cautioned by the Ethics Commission for accepting an illegal campaign contribution. He said he didn't know any better. He's a member of a city council, he's running for legislature, and he can't bother to read the ethics laws to find out what campaign contribution limits are. Does he really deserve to be elected? I ask you. I'm Max Brantley. We'll see you next week.